Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, or Childhood Finds if you haven't joined me before. Today I'm just going to do a what sold of items that have sold in the last few days. And it's going to be, I believe it's 18, and it's going to include eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. It'll be a different variety from price ranges from 5 to 65, I believe it is today. More of bread and butter items. And so let's go ahead and just get started. So the first one's going to be a record. It's ZZ Top Tres Ombre. I might have said that wrong. It just vinyl, and you can see that I included the descriptor, the XPS-631. You can typically find that on the spine or on the record itself. It's going to help you discern pressing and different information about the record, so that when people are searching for it specifically, they can find yours. And this one sold for full asking. I paid $1 for it. The record itself was in excellent shape, but as you can see, the cover leaves a little bit to be desired. But otherwise, it was a quick sale, sold in a couple days. Next one is, I think, my favorite sale of the last week or two. This is, described it as a vintage ornate footed vanity tray, framed lace, abalone shell, butterfly inlay. And then I put read because I put a little extra in the description. I took a best offer for $65. I listed it high at $80 because it's unique. Vanity trays don't typically go that high for price, at least that I could find. But this one was just so interesting and beautiful. We got it for about $1, and it sold in 2 days, I think it was. If I didn't already say that, I might have. And it's going off to South Korea. I've never sold to South Korea before. So this was just, it's a beautiful find. Let me get a couple close-ups so you can really see. You can see that abalone shell there and design. It was a stunning little piece. So I'm happy to see it go off to a new home. Next one, guess what? Not getting rich off this sale, but it's so tiny. It's like this big. It's $5. I took a best offer for $5, and it's going to Canada. But it literally took me a few pictures, slapped it up. It takes up no space, and it was worth it for me. I threw it in poly mailers I got for free, so the shipping cost was really low. So I'm happy with the sale. I'm not getting rich, but it's okay. You can't on every sale. Next one is going to be a Disney Parks Authentic Original Stitch plush. He has 4 arms. That's important to include because not all of them have the 4 arms. They might have 2. And I did put Experiment 626 because that is what he is. That is another search term for Stitch. And, I do put that it is Disney Parks because people are going to be searching for Disney Store, Disney World, Disney Parks, and they're going to be looking for a specific plush, so that's important to put in your title. And he sold for full asking. He took a couple months, maybe less, to sell, and I paid probably 49 cents for him. This one's interesting, super interesting. This is a book where I got it and I just priced it high. I really couldn't find any information on it, so I decided I would just price it high and do periodic markdowns. And it sold for a best offer of $35. I think that's fair. I was happy with it, and I hope the buyer's happy with it. It's History of the Grand Encampment, Knights Templar of the USA, and the author is Francis Scully, and it was 1952. But it's interesting. So there's not much I can tell about it because there's not a lot of information, but you can see down here, 1952, there's the author. It's very interesting, so I knew it would sell to someone. This took a while to sell, but that's okay. So yeah, best offer, $35. I don't know where I got this. I have no idea how this made it to me, but I paid no more than $3. Probably less, but $3 is the max. This I got in my very first bulk cookbook buy, and I took a best offer for $10. It's The Rainbow Cooks Soup, Salads, and Specialties. It's 1974, and it's spiral bound. I probably have. It's probably like 5 cents into this after I factor in all the other cookbooks. But it's an interesting shape and kind of an interesting little cover. That's why I put it up, and it took quite a while to sell, but it's $10 and I have barely anything into it, and it's easy to list and easy to ship. I just got this along with a ZZ Top and some other records recently. This is Michael Jackson Off the Wall. And I took a best offer for $18. I probably could have got a little more if I wanted to wait because of the condition, but I was happy with $18. And I think the buyer gets a nice little deal, but it's like, this is in beautiful condition. The sleeve and the record were in great condition. So that I paid $1 for, listed for I think maybe a day when it sold. This is another interesting book that I found not a lot about. This is Brigham D. Madison, The Bannock of Idaho, first edition, 1958 illustrated. And I did say see pics because I thought it was very important. They need to really be aware it was a library book. It is not in perfect condition. I did put in my description a whole bunch. I said, there's tape that I don't want to remove. It might damage the dust jacket, different things that essentially I'm leaving the buyer to deal with. So you can see here, there's tape here that I started to remove it, and I could see the white under it coming up. So I just went, nope, not today. And I just sold it as is. It wasn't in terrible condition, but I mean, look at that book. They destroyed this with tape. But it's still sold. I sent out a best offer for $34. And I paid $1 for it, maybe less, but $1 at the most for this. So that took, I don't know, a couple months to sell. This one I love. I love this one because I have this one and another one coming up. This is The Road to Oz. And so these you have to be really careful with. I cheated a little. I put 1909 copyright, because the copyright does say 1909, but this is absolutely not printed then. This printing had to have been after 1919 because of the publishing company. The publishing company changed their name to Riley and Lee, that were publishing the Oz books in 1919, I believe. So this absolutely could not have been printed in 1909. To be printed in 1909, it would have had to be Riley and Brighton, I believe. But this, I paid $1 for this. It sold for $40. It was listed a week or two at the most. And it's still a wonderful book. It's in really good condition, but it is not a first edition, but still garnered $40. So I'm happy. And we can see I've got another one. This is, again, another Oz book. It's The Royal Book of Oz. And this one was 1921. And it's not a first edition either. It does not have any color plates, but it's still really nice. Let me see if I can pull up. Yeah, you can still see there's beautiful illustrations in it. And it was in good condition considering its age. So this again was $40, paid about $1. Probably took a week or two. This one I think sold faster than the other. This one was probably a week or less. This is just a game, Pathfinder role-playing game, beginner box, 2011. This one I got at the Goodwill for $3.49, and I was excited. It had bonus inside when I opened this one. It had a bonus expansion deck that I sold for $10 separately. So, but this one sold for $21.95, full price, and it had no dice. It was supposed to include dice. I just put that in the listing. But this is how I typically show my board games. I am going to lay everything out if they're open, so everybody is able to see exactly what they're getting with their item. And then I always disclose if it's missing something. This was listed probably a couple weeks. I always pick up these travel alarm clocks. I can't help it. I love them and I think they're adorable. So this one sold for $11. This is a Westclock 7 Jewels pocket clock, Germany. And it was separated from its little clock. That's why I made this my front picture, so it was abundantly clear. This is not in exact condition it should be. So it was separated. It just needs a couple little screws, and then the clock could be reattached to the case. And I just put it as untested parts, because I I attempted the little bit I know on the clock. It did not start ticking for me, so I went, no, I'm not going to ruin this, and just listed it as untested. And I've sold a few of these, and that's always worked for me. Some of the buyers, they get them to work and they're super stoked, and they got an amazing deal for it. That's awesome. I'm glad, because I'm not a clock perfect tester. So that sold for 11, sold pretty fast, probably. That one, I don't know. That one might have been a month or two. I don't know. They all blend together. This is another I'm not getting rich sale, but I did a bulk sheet music buy. I paid $20 total roughly for 2 giant boxes of sheet music, and then I started to list them separately, and then my sanity broke, so I just lotted them up into 10. And I described it as vintage sheet music mixed lot of 10, ephemera, crafting arts, and crafting arts and crafts. Read description. And in the description, I just go into these are sold as is. There may be rips, tears, writing that is not shown in the photos. I tried to use a ton of the photos so people could really see what they're getting, but I wasn't going to take a picture of every page because there's 10 of them. But this sold for a best offer of $13.50. I included free shipping, but it was it didn't cost much to ship this. And I have tons of these lots. They do not sell fast. It is not quick sales, but they're consistent. These are vintage signed Jomaz yellow-green rhinestone flower earrings clip-on. I don't have anything else to tell you because I don't know anything about jewelry, but they're cute. They sold for a best offer of $18, probably $1 into them. This came from the first yard sale this season, along with the Oz books and the abalone tray and probably some other stuff. So that yard sale is still paying off. This is a vintage jadeite small mixer batter bowl with pour spout. This is off an actual mixer, an old mixer, and I was not willing to pack it. I was not willing to sell the mixer whole. I could have got good money, but my sanity was more important, and I wasn't ready to ship that, so I parted it out. Here's the little bowl. I haven't listed the big bowl yet, but that'll be coming up next. And I paid $10 for the mixer. So here's 18. And so the rest of the pieces will just be profit from here on out. And I saved my sanity by not packing the whole mixer at once. Oops, scroll down here. This is Lock Nightmare Before Christmas, Disney 12-inch Squishmallow. And this one I am showing because I want to strongly encourage you to cross-list. Because this guy, there is sales of $2, $4, and there is tons listed on eBay, where the likelihood of me selling this for a decent amount was very slim. I cross-listed this onto Poshmark. It sold in a day for a best offer of $12 off of $14. It was, so just consider that. The other platforms aren't as diluted with some items, and it might just be the right time, the right place, different eyes. So I am happy with this little sale because it was very likely I was not going to make much if on eBay. Here's a Mercari one. This is a Mary Mary Mushroom Pillow Toadstool Stuffed Plush. It had its tags. I have 2 more of these left. I bought 4 of them for a total of $20, I think. Roughly $20, a little less. I might have 5. I think 4. 4 and 18. I think I'm 18 because 2 were on sale. And so this one sold for $19 on Mercari. I've sold one other one for $26 or something, also on Mercari. And yeah, this works for me. Look at me being a hat seller. This is an Arnold, I hate saying this, Arnold Palmer Invitational MasterCard Classic Cut Golf Cap hat snapback with tag. Hats I also don't know a lot about, but I'm slowly branching into them. So hats, clothing, jewelry, I am very slowly dipping my toe in them. So this one sold for $17. I got an offer on Mercari, and I had quite a bit of interest in this hat, but I was happy with a quick sale. It probably sold in a couple days. I got this out of that, if you've seen my other videos, we did at my local animal shelter has a thrift store, and they have a bin sale where you dig through and you fill a tote that you buy. And this was one of the items I got out of that, and you pay $20 for the tote. So I tried to make it a little quicker of a video. So that's 18 items that sold in the last week. I hope you enjoyed this and join me for the next one. Thanks.